The following is a Fourth Hand production.
What? No! You suck! Oh my
Man, every time it's like I want to try and start the episode like crazy, but then sometimes like I just fucking started, dick. And that's how we're starting the show. Welcome to What the Suck, guys. I'm Chris, and this is my good friend.
Hey, I'm James. What's up, ya hoes?
Man, we are at the season 2 finale.
Season 2 finale. I'm so glad we had this time together.
So sad, but so kind of glad. I'm gonna miss these movies for the next couple of months, but I'm not gonna miss these movies for the next couple of months.
Yep, I need a break because I
do
need
need
to
a break.
find a date.
I need to find a life.
Yep.
Even though I'm married, I need to find one anyway because these movies suck the life from me. Yeah, so today's season finale for season 2, as I said multiple times in a row, is Deadtime Stories.
Yes, anthology to end it, but unfortunately it has kind of a high rating, so I hope it's not too good, damn it.
Hopefully not. It's 1986 horror comedy anthology film written and directed by Jeffrey Dellman in his directorial debut.
His debut.
Directed by Dellman, written by William Paul, written by Dellman, J. Edward Kiernan, and Charles F. Shelton. Story by Jeffrey Dellman. Starring Scott Valentine, don't know who that is. Melissa Leo, don't know who that is. Catherine DePrume, don't know who that is. Anne Redfern, don't know who that is. Nicole Picard, don't know who that is.
Who gives
Matt
a fuck?
Mitlu, don't know who that is.
Stop. Just go to the next one.
Kathy Flake, don't know who that is. And Philip Cherry, don't know who that is. But 3 of these fools got like links for other IMDb's. So, okay, he was on Family Ties as Nick Moore. Don't care.
Who?
I don't know. Melissa Leo is an American. She's won an Academy Award. What?
An Academy Award winning person is in this movie?
Yeah, what did she
What
win?
in the
Let's see what
fuck are we doing?
I don't know. Let me see. Man, she was in All My Children. She was on Homicide. She was in Wayward Pines. Wow. Okay.
Boy, I'm impressed.
Man, because it was 86, so it must have been like before she actually broke through and made her stride or whatever. But, alrighty then.
Academy Award winner in our season finale, dude.
Man.
We are way out of bounds.
Who do we think we are? It's a horror podcast? We don't watch good shit.
Hell no, we don't. We don't watch good horror movies. We watch shitty horror movies.
That's right. Music by Larry Juris. And a bunch of people worked on other bullshit. Distributed by Palisades Entertainment, Cinema Group, Bedford Entertainment. Release date November 26, 1986. Running time was smooth, jazzy, 83 minutes.
Damn.
Box office was $2.7 million for this motherfucker.
$2.7 million. But it doesn't give us a budget.
Does not give us a budget. This movie was also released internationally as Freaky Fairy Tales.
Now, I'd like that better.
I like this other one. The Greebles from Deadtime Stories. I don't know what the fuck a Greeble is, but I like that title better.
Greebles wobble.
Greeble gobble?
But they don't fall down.
Oh, no, those are Weeble Wobbles.
I know.
Not Greebles. Man.
Most people listening to this don't know no damn Weebles.
All right, so let's find out what this horror anthology piece of shit's all about.
Must we?
All right. Nobody lives happily ever after.
That ain't no shit.
Once upon a time, when you were 6 years old, your parents used to tell you bedtime stories.
Mine did not. They told my ass to go to bed at 8 o'clock and leave us the fuck alone.
We're trying to get it on. Fuck off. Somehow, though, those stories became twisted in your dreams, and you sometimes had the worst nightmares about haunted heroes, fire-eating witches, and blood-sucking werewolves who ate children for breakfast. Remember? No, I never had any of that bullshit.
No.
I wasn't on acid when I was 8 years old.
I dreamed about Linda Carter.
Yeah, I dreamed about...
Damn near every night.
Yeah, I didn't dream about werewolves. I dreamed about, anyway.
Shit, who am I kidding? I still dream about Linda Carter.
She's still fine for her
age. She is very fine for her age. And I'm old, too, so... Linda, if you're listening and you sick of that rich fool you're married to, look me up.
He's single. Hook him up.
That's right. You will not be disappointed.
Hold on to your popcorn because your favorite nightmares come to life in a horror fantasy salute to the age-old bedtime story ritual. travel on a mysterious journey to a medieval world populated by blood-crazed witches, evil experiments, and captive maidens. Ooh, the captive maidens. Then, from the catacombs and dark caverns of medieval Europe, you plunge into modern suburbia and the frolicsome ventures of a nubile lady jogger tracked by a savage werewolf. This sounds stupid as shit.
Yes, it does.
Finally,
Perfect.
sensuality becomes macabre black comedy as you follow the trail of 3 escaped mental patients who share a country house with a daffy murderess. I'm sorry, but sensuality, black comedy, and mental patients are not 3 things I want in my sentence.
Yes, and why did you transfer into Shatner
Because-
at the end of the synopsis?
Because it said finally sensuality and Shatner is sensual.
Well, we got to lose our fucking minds. Anyway, because this is our finale. Got to go out with a bang.
Hopefully.
We have a couple months off. Chris and I will be reworking the show. Still going to be basic, same format, but we are going to add some twists, some
There'll be
surprises, some
additional
extra goodies
for you.
We're going to up our game significantly.
So keep an eye out for it.
Keep an eye out for it. But if you haven't listened to the rest of our episodes, go on back to the beginning
Yes.
and occupy yourselves for the next couple months.
And that way you won't have to hear us tell you the rating system, because we're not going to tell you anyway.
Nope.
Because you can go back and listen to all of season 1.
We abbreviate it.
And about half of season 2 and figure out what that is.
Yep.
We might even revamp the rating system. Not sure yet. Everything's up in the air. We're going crazy. It's wild. It's Crazy Murray's all out clearance sale. So
oh my God.
everything's got to go. So we'll see what happens. But so basically the rundown is emoji, shit turd rating scale 1 to 5.
I like the way you throw it all backwards. Yes, he is correct, folks. 1 through 5 shit emojis is how we rate our movies. 1 being the best, 5 being a train wreck of epic proportions, which is what we kind of shoot for every time, because that's the point.
Yeah.
Now, crappy horror movies, as we've always said, deserve love too. Somebody worked real hard on them, and sometimes maybe not so hard, but at least they did something to get a shitty product out there, and it deserves to be watched at least once. And like I said, if you start with 1 star, those are the ones you're going to keep in your queue. The classics, the Jack Frost, the Hobgoblins, those are the primo. And then you got your Zozos, which are so far in the dumpster.
Those aren't even 5. Those are 6s.
That was a 6. That is true.
Don't watch that one, y'all. It sucks.
But that's just an example.
Yeah.
But as the stars.
You keep saying stars, man.
Well, you know what? It wouldn't be an episode without me saying stars.
No shit.
Anyway, the greater number of turds, the greater number of bottles of alcohol you need to have present during the viewing of these motion pictures.
Yes.
Drink. Yes. Yeah. You're gonna...
And so it's a very interesting correlation. So the greater number of shit emojis means the greater number of alcohol drinks you need to consume, but also means the greater number of friends you need to have along with you to share in your misery.
And rip it to shreds. Laugh at it. Have fun. I'm telling you, it's a blast.
Yeah.
We've done this many, many times. What is this? Going to be this damn near our 50th episode of this, I think.
Yeah,
We're up to
pretty
about
much. We're
49,
close to
50 episodes now.
Yeah.
So that is 49 or 50 painfully bad horror movies we have endured for your entertainment.
Really bad. And you're welcome. And we love you. And we'll keep doing it for you because we love y'all.
And like I said, definitely keep your eye out for season 3. It's going to be a little wilder, a little crazier, and you think, hell, how can these 2 bozos get any weirder?
Oh, just you wait.
You ain't seen shit.
Just you wait. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Well, get ready, because you're about to.
That's right.
All right, let's get on with this review, shall we?
Oh, God.
Let's do it.
In the dead of night, when you're all alone, visions of terror run wild. Only tonight they will be real, because all the legends of darkness are coming out of the closet. In Deadtime Stories. An insanely wicked nightmare, haunted by bizarre creatures carving their way through a maniacal fable, oozing with evil magic. From the door to your most secret fears, all the way to Grandma's house. Horror is back in style. I'm gonna make this very painful. Now it's time to say your prayers, because all your nightmares come to life in Deadtime Stories.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right.
Holy, as we always say, shit. This one, I am happy to report, is going to get a much higher mark than our season 1 finale. I will tell you that at least.
It is nowhere near a 6.
No.
Nowhere near a 6. This, yes. Once you start us off, James.
Must I?
Yeah, you have to. I said so. Do it.
Okay. Well, anyway, damn
You start off with the anyways. That's why you start off, buddy.
That's what I do.
You paid the big bucks.
That's when you try to breathe and try to think.
Like, anyway.
Well, it starts with this perverted uncle.
Like it always does.
Panting and breathing heavy and shit and walking down the hall, and it sounds like a monster. You're like, what the hell? Turns out to be this kid's uncle. He's going to his kid's room. I guess he's babysitting his nephew or something, looking after him. Little brat's in there hollering and screaming about the monsters in the room and all this shit. So he coaxes him into telling him some stories.
Some bedtime stories.
Shitty ones, too.
Yes.
But
because the uncle's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he is indeed a piece of shit. He takes 3 American classics and basically slaughters them.
Yes.
And twists them into his own demented to his own demented story. So basically he could get through them without going nuts and choking the shit out of this little fucker.
Yeah.
Because this kid was annoying.
Yeah, he was.
So the first story we got.
Well, before we start the story, let's talk about the credit scene.
The glorious credits.
Yeah, so while the uncle's talking to the kid, it transitions to a cartoon or a drawing of the two of them, and it turns out to be, zooms out, and it's the cover of this book, of the Deadtime Stories book.
Deadtime Stories.
You get a human hand who begins to turn the pages. And
Creepshow ripoff.
Yeah, the pages are the credits. So each page has like a bunch of old style art on it, and the names of the cast, and goes through all the crew and everything. But during that, in between every few pages, like it starts off with a human hand turning the pages, but then a few pages later, this one monster hand comes up, moves his hand out the way, and then starts to turn pages himself. And then it continues. After that is like a creature from the Black Lagoon hand. And then after that, it's like an ogre hand.
Yeah, it just keeps changing.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's actually pretty neat. The like the artwork on the book is really cool. It's very old, like Renaissance style art. It's
almost Time Bandits kind of like.
Yeah, Yeah. And it's a very different, interesting way of doing the credit scene.
Yes, it is.
It's the most interesting way we've seen so far on this show.
It is.
It is really cool.
It is pretty neat.
Yeah, and then you get this wannabe love ballad singing over it that I believe the director wrote himself, talking about something about how like remembering bedtime tales as a kid, how are we not messed up or some shit like that.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it's a really, it's not, I'm like, okay, I don't want to say it's a good power ballad, but it's definitely a typical power ballad from the 80s.
It's total crap, but it is good. It's good crap.
So that's the end. And like I said, it changes hands.
And the music, we can't forget the glorious music by, I guess it's Taj.
Oh yeah,
and
Taj.
This awesomely terrible synth music.
Well, that doesn't come in but like one scene and that's it. The rest of it's just really stupid, normal music or background music. But yeah, so after this credit sequence, then we go into the first story, James.
And And the page flipping did seem to take forever.
It went through all the cast and all the crew, so of course it took fucking forever to get through. So the first story.
Yep, I'm sitting there slapping my head back and forth trying to remember the first story because my brain is numb.
Well, the first story. Okay, so the first story involves Peter, who has been, I don't want to say kidnapped by witches.
Played by Scott Valentine, which I didn't know the name, but the minute I saw his face, it started driving me freaking crazy. He plays the ditzy boyfriend of Mallory in Family Ties. He has been in other stuff. We did look up his...
Not very good stuff, though.
No,
Everything's been
crap.
direct to, yeah.
Well, he was no Oscar winner. That's for damn
No,
sure.
that's for damn sure. So he's from what I understood, he's a ward of these two witches who use him as labor.
Well, they bought him. They bought him as a slave. He was like broke
so
and
he's
starving.
a slave.
He sold into slavery, and they take his ass back to their little lair, and they're feeding him, they're taking care of him, but his sole purpose for these people
is to do the labor.
Is to do the
Heavy
labor
lifting.
And eventually seduce this little chick.
This pure virgin or whatever.
Yeah, because you don't get it at first. You're like, what the hell are they doing? They're digging through the forest. But what they do is they go and get their dead sister.
Yes.
These two witches.
Well, before they do that, they lure a preacher in who goes there because he thinks it's a whorehouse.
Oh.
And they dope him up with like peyote or some shit. And so instead of seeing the two nasty witches, he sees two beautiful young women.
He
thinks he's at a whorehouse.
That's right.
And while he's in this trance, they put this red gel on his arm, which burns it off, and his arm starts crawling by itself.
Yes. Like you said, that's when the thing was born.
So the thing was born, yeah. So then they use the hand in a bowl, and they put some magic powder bullshit over it. And the hand is what points them to the direction of where their sister is buried.
Which I'm sitting there going, why? I maybe he was the one that buried her or something.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe he's the one that killed her and he buried her secretly. But so anyway, so that's what he's there for. So and then they get to where the sister's buried. It's in a cave apparently.
Yeah.
She's up against the wall. They find her skeleton. They pull her dead dry ass heart out and take it back to their hut, and that's when they realize they need to get a virgin to sacrifice in order to bring their sister back.
That's it. So that's when they send little bitch boy out, go out there in the forest and seduce this young girl. They find she's out there doing laundry or something over a fire, the old style and all this.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's funny because she's very standoffish with him. She's like, "What the hell are you doing here? What do you want? Quit staring
Go
at
away.
me.
Leave me alone."
And so they start talking. They sit down to eat. And while they're doing that, he does something to distract her. And while he's doing that, they sneak up behind her, chloroform her, and they drag her ass back to the lair.
Yes. Wonderful master plan. Yes. Fantastic.
So good. And then they get there and they tie her to this wooden cross looking thing. And then they stand her up. And I make note that she'll never get out of this. These binds are just too tight. The ropes are literally dangling.
Oh yeah, right on her
in
neck.
front of her and stuff like that. She's not tied up. You can see she can get out of there.
Well, she's doped up, so she's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the little bitch boy. I'm just going to call him that.
I don't remember his name. Yeah, little bitch boy. I think we said it earlier, but I forgot. So, LBB.
LBB. Well, it's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious, like you said, she used to be a sacrifice.
Yes.
In this ritual to bring their sister back. But he goes up and he whispered to her, "Don't worry. I'll get you out of here and all this shit."
Yeah,
so obviously he likes her.
He asked them to be the one to sacrifice her because they were going to do it, but he wants to do it because he has this plan that he wants to rescue her because he's the one normal woman he sees he's in love with automatically.
Yeah, and what's funny is the damn witch comes up and says, "No, this one's too important. Let him kill the next one."
But then the other witch is like, "Come on, you can do it. Come on." And while that's going on, they get the sister's heart out, put it in a bowl, pour this magic blood over it.
So and it starts to beat. In
a very puppeteering fashion, the heart starts to reinflate and then becomes covered in blood and starts to pump, like you said.
It starts to pump, and then all of a sudden these tendrils and stuff start coursing through this skeleton.
Yeah, so they put it inside. They put it inside the sister's skeleton.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, like all these tendrils come out.
It's very cheap, rip-off-ish, Hellraiser kind of type of
because
effect.
They start to wrap around the skeleton, and then they start making like whatever the hell's under like your muscle. They start making that the veins and stuff.
Yeah, it's like they made this plastic dummy with fake blood and shit, melted it down, and then played it in reverse.
Right.
So this thing, as it was recovering, so to say, as she was regenerating.
Yeah, because then it starts making like muscles, and then it starts to make skin, and then the eyes reappear, and I mean, it's pretty decent practical effects. Nothing fantastic.
Nothing fantastic, but we've definitely seen a hell of a lot worse.
Yes, we saw a hell of a lot worse in Poltergeist 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh, Lord.
But this isn't too bad. It's really gory. It's kind of, like I said, Hellraiser-ish, kind of Lord of Illusion-ish.
We say ish. Yeah, we say ish because Hellraiser was a freaking masterpiece.
Well, I wouldn't put it that, but it was definitely really good.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. This, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is nowhere near that. That's why it's on the show.
I mean, with the Alka-Seltzer face and everything all melting, and then all of a sudden the thing has hair.
Yeah. And this sequence takes forever, but it's meant to show off all the special effects and the practical effects, which, like I said, are decent. Nothing to write home about. But halfway through it, they turn to Bitch Boy, LBB, and they say, look, okay, you need to sacrifice her so that it's a life for a life. Kill her, bring back the sister.
Well, I love it. Well, anyway, the two Klingons,
yeah,
as I call them, the two Klingon sisters are standing there. They suspect nothing, says, kill her now. He draws back, and Bitch Boy nails this bitch in the forehead with the
main
knife.
witch right in the forehead. Bam.
Plants it. The other witch tries to attack him. She gets clunked by the little blonde bitch.
Yeah, because he's able to untie her, and so while the witch is chasing him.
Oh, with a sword.
With a sword,
We can't forget that.
With a sword,
Witch has got a sword.
Yeah. That witch. And
so to fend her off, he starts throwing eyeballs that just happen to be in his bowl.
Of course, I mean, it's a witch house. There's always eyeballs in a bowl.
I guess so.
Yeah, so she knocks her out, and then they take off.
And then the sister who's got the knife in her head falls dead over the corpse. And while she's bleeding out, the sister that's regenerating is gulping the blood that's pouring out of her head.
Yeah.
It's pretty nasty.
And you see, once they run out of the house, it shows the table, and the sister's gone. It's just the skin that's left there.
And you're like, oh, damn, she done shed her skin. She's on the prowl.
That's right. So they end up in this canyon, this really fake-looking canyon set. And they come across a Sith Lord. No, they come across some dude in like a big old black hooded robe, just standing there with the hood over the face. It's like, oh, it's a Sith Lord. They walk up to it because they're idiots, and it turns out to be the sister.
That's it. And that's stupid. It's like, no, let's not run when there's a mysterious dark figure with a hood standing in front of us.
Yeah.
Let's walk over there and fuck with it.
And let's say, excuse me, sir, do you know where I can find the 7-Eleven or whatever? But
exactly.
She pulls the hood back, and she looks like Richard Ramirez, and she does. And she starts to attack Bitch Boy, and while she's doing that, he goes straight fucking Temple of Doom on her ass.
Yes, and in awesome fashion, just call him all like a motherfucker.
Pulls that heart out.
Pulls that motherfucker out and throws it against the wall.
No. You even cooler. You're going too far ahead. Even cooler.
I did. Sorry.
He pulls the heart out, and she drops dead, and he lifts it up and looks at it. All of a sudden, it becomes a fucking face hugger, and whap! Fucking attaches to his fucking face on his eyes and shit.
I definitely can't miss that. That was hilarious.
Now, so while he's holding it, before it goes onto his face, it cuts back to the witch, and she's just bones again. But when it cuts back and it goes on his face, it's fucking glorious. It's fantastic.
It is.
It's so cool. So then the blonde bitch pulls it off his face and then throws it at the wall. But that second, when it grabs his face like a face hugger, was so not expecting it. It's fucking brilliant.
We busted out laughing, and I can't believe I skipped it.
I give
like,
that part,
shit.
just that part, I give it a 1 turd.
That's a 1 turd right there.
That one part makes this segment a 1 turd to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it was just funny as shit.
It was
because the 3/4 of this thing was boring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This was really not that great, but that part made up for it. The Kali-Mal and then the face hugger.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's no reason for the heart to be a face hugger, but they threw it in there. I'm like, fucking thank you for doing that shit. Yeah. So then they go off to the forest, they kiss, end the story, big fucking whoop.
Well, then the kid bitches because he's like, oh, I don't want it to end on mushy. I want horror stories. So then he tells another part real quick. He says, oh, and all of a sudden, Morga jumps back up and she's got both of them
and she's
shaking them by the neck.
Yeah.
It's stupid looking, and you can see the paper mache rocks moving.
Yeah.
The sets moving.
The cheap
very
piece
poorly
of shit.
done. But then end of story again. So Uncle tries to leave the room after telling the first story.
Yep.
And the little whiny ass starts up again.
So the Uncle has to come back in and tell another fucking story, so he'll go his bitch ass to sleep.
Because without the Uncle telling the stories, we ain't got a fucking movie.
Wouldn't be an anthology.
That's right.
So So the next story he tells is a modern telling of Little Red Riding Hood. It's more like little Ho Riding Hood. Starts off with Red Hood in her bedroom. She starts to unbutton her shirt. She's half naked. She's rubbing her belly like a freak. And then
At this point, I'm praying for the rescue titties,
yes,
but they're not coming.
No RTs. But she does have an adorable German Shepherd in her room, so that's points for that. But she's having this daydream where her douche of a boyfriend is coming up behind her and starting to kiss her, and it's this fucking long ass sequence of her kissing her and rubbing up on her, and I'm just like, show me some RTs or move the fuck on.
Exactly,
and it doesn't do that.
No,
it doesn't show RTs, and it doesn't move the fuck on.
And nobody cares about this at this point. So she's got huge fucking eyes, weird hair, big ass teeth, and a half-ass decent body.
She looks like the wolf.
Yeah,
and so then she's snapped out of her daydream by her mom, who says she has to go to the store to get money, medicine for her grandmother. So she dons her 1980s red velvet jumpsuit.
That's it. And she's out jogging with the hood.
With the hood, that's right.
Can't forget it. The hood is up.
So then we cut to a scene inside of a pharmacy where we're introduced to the quote-unquote wolf, who's wearing black leather pants and a brown members-only jacket.
And he's doing a fucking dope deal with the pharmacist.
Yeah.
And we kind of figured this out when he was in there, because he says, I need to be knocked out. And I said, oh, he's the fucking wolf.
He's the fucking wolf.
What he's actually trying to do is buy drugs so he can just basically dose himself into a coma.
That's right.
And skip the moon cycle.
It's the full moon. That's right.
So he's actually trying to do the right thing.
Right.
He's actually a good werewolf.
But then little Miss Red Bitch White Privilege comes in, and while Wolf is talking to the pharmacist, she just comes up to the counter and just interrupts their conversation.
I mean, just busts the fuck right up in the middle of their conversation.
Yeah, and just
breaks up their dope deal. I mean, just all in the middle of it.
Yeah, she says, I'm here, pay attention to me, whatever. My name's Karen. And so then, he goes to the back, does this thing, whatever, comes back, gives her the package. Turns out to be the wrong package. We find that later. It's the wrong package.
Yep.
He gave her the dope, whatever the fuck he needs. Gave the wolf grandmother's Malox.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have a little help, shitting out those human bones and stuff.
I think, good point.
Yeah, but
so then Little Red Ho meets up with her douche boyfriend in the park and they kiss and whatever, and then
this has to be in the annals of horror movies the worst attempt at a lovemaking scene, should I say, because they don't show anything, but the struggle of this whole scene actually makes you physically uncomfortable. You're like, you just want to slap the living shit out of this guy.
Yeah, so they go to this fucking tool shed
in the graveyard
shed
for the tennis courts.
So the tennis courts. Yeah. He blows up this 25-cent fucking air mattress.
A single. Not even a double.
It takes him 3 hours because he's a fucking douche and pansy. He blows it up, and then they start to do it, and they have sex, whatever. They don't show anything. It's lame, it's boring, and it's disgusting because it's in a fucking tool shed. While that's all going on,
jump back to Wolf House.
He goes to his house. He's getting ready to dope himself up. He pulls medicine out. It's actually Malox. He goes back to the pharmacist, tells him what happened. The pharmacist says, "Look, here's the address of the old lady. It should be there."
Yep.
So he goes to the house, knocks on the door. The old lady is not letting him in. Doesn't want nothing to do with him. So he sits there waiting for Red Riding Hood to show up.
Yep.
And
pacing, nervous.
All this time she's getting her limp dick on with limp dick. And then after it's over, this is so funny. They start during the day, right? It's probably like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4, maybe whatever.
Yeah.
Bright outside. By the time they get the air mattress filled up and they finally do it
for like 3 seconds, mind you, that it was very brief.
Right, but it takes them 3 hours to get the air mattress filled up and then prepare to do the deed. 10 seconds later, it's done.
It's done. And another thing, you gotta elaborate on the uncomfortableness of this whole situation. Not only are they on a single-size air mattress, he is literally on top of her in all means. He's like laying flat on top of her. His legs aren't touching the ground. Nothing. He's literally laying on top of her.
And they're both just wearing socks.
And they're just sitting there wiggling.
Just wearing socks, yeah.
Wiggling like a couple of worms. And
yeah,
boom,
it's the most awkward, and it's done.
It was horribly done. But
while that's happening, it gets dark. The wolf guy at Grandma's house begins to change and turns into a wolf.
Yeah, he starts pacing. It's like, I'm not ready. Because, yeah, the sun's gone down. Everything's blue now. There's no light.
So it's nighttime. So he turns to a wolf and he takes off, somehow figuring out they're at the fucking... No, he doesn't figure out. He takes off. No, he doesn't take off. He just turns to a wolf. What happens is we cut back to the dipshits, and they've already finished doing it. They're dressed.
Yep.
And then the maintenance guy walks in.
Shows up and
walks in. Kicks
doesn't
him
say
out.
anything. They leave.
She walks out, and she's like, what time is it? And he's like, it must be 6. It's the darkest fucking 6 I've ever seen.
Yeah, no shit.
And so she runs to Grandma's house, but while that's happening, the grandma is being stalked by the wolf.
You know what was funny? At this part, nothing has happened, and we get this little subtitle of crickets chirping. I'm like, no shit.
We're
crickets
fucking
chirping.
Nothing's
no
fucking
shit.
happening.
It was literally very boring. Again, the segment starts out boring, but then it starts to pick up a little steam.
A little
here.
bit, yeah. The best part is, while the whole scene of the grandmother being stalked by the wolf is happening, you don't see it really much. And she opens the door. She goes outside. She doesn't see anything. She comes back in. And then she locks the door. And the wolf starts banging on the door. And she tells him to go away.
Because, he knocked over the trash can on purpose.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. She went outside. She came back in. It doesn't fucking matter. And so she's realizing the basement door is not closed.
So she runs to do it, gets the latch on, but what happens?
Right as she
that
latches
happens in every damn movie. Of course,
it swings open a
here
little bit.
Here comes the hand.
Yep.
Whoosh.
Yep.
Attempted a jump scare, but...
The best part is she's walking back to the front door, right?
Yep.
The front door is open. Okay, she's walking back to the front door.
And you can see behind her into the next room.
The camera is facing her. And you see the room behind her, which is her living room. And it's just panning, or it's just following her as she's walking to the front door. When she gets to the front door, she looks around, doesn't see anything. All of a sudden, from behind and fucking beneath her, beneath, the wolf jumps up, literally up, and bites her on the neck and brings her down. But when I say beneath, I'm literally saying beneath, because you can see behind her.
You didn't see all the floor area.
He didn't run. He didn't crawl. In order for him to have jumped up right behind her, he would have had to fucking belly crawl through the entire fucking living room, stop right at her fucking feet, and then just pop up real quick.
But that one move made us laugh so damn hard.
It was the funniest.
It raised this
shit.
A couple of turds for me. It raised it a couple of damn turds.
That scene is fucking hilariously bad. It's so like. Who thought it'd be a good idea to have him pop up like that? Because, you can see the whole room behind him. You can tell he's not running or anything. He's just fucking belly crawling.
Oh, man. And what's funny is he doesn't even look like a wolf. He's just got a fucked up face, and the rest of his body is a human. He's got some little claws and stuff.
He looks like...
He's kind of like a very poor imitation of the hybrid from Underworld. He's got a human body and a wolf-looking face, kind of, but nowhere near that badass.
See, I thought he looked like the fucking creatures from Sleepwalkers, just with hair on him.
Oh, geez, yeah.
That's how bad he looks. So the Red Riding Hood shows up at her grandmother's house, walks in, finds her
grandma down,
being eaten by the wolf. The wolf attacks her, starts to grope her because he's a fucking pervert.
That's what I was saying. I was like, he about to get his freak on.
Yeah. And so they wrestle around or whatever, and she's able to get a hold of this silver cake cutter that her grandmother had. Stabs him in the neck. He falls. He hits the handle. It punctures straight into his neck again, and he dies. He turns back into douchebag,
turns back into the
wolfman,
into the dopehead.
Yeah, and then dies. Grandma wakes up. She's still alive. She didn't die.
So
she wakes up. They take her to the hospital. She's in the hospital.
Like David fucking Kessler.
Coming back, yeah, like David Kessler, that's right. But except that the granddaughter's not dead. She's actually alive. She's not in limbo.
That's right.
So she wakes up and she's like trying to explain what happened, whatever. And it cuts from her looking at her to looking at the granddaughter. And you look at the granddaughter, you can see behind her is a window, and you can clearly see the full moon.
Oh.
So what happens?
Grandma loses her shit, starts to snarl and growl,
and then
here come the teeth, and oh my god!
The episode ends with her looking at her grandma, and the last line she says is,
"What big teeth you have!"
And that's the end of the segment.
Thank God.
It was.
Now that segment to me wasn't quite as good as the first.
No,
it was okay.
It was the same as the first.
You think?
It was just as boring for the most part. And then there was one part in it that really made us laugh and really kind of saved it a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's just enough corniness in this movie to make it entertaining.
Yeah. So we went through the same scenario again where the uncle tells a story, goes.
But this time, at this point, he's starting to lose his shit with this kid.
Yeah,
he's like sick of him whining and hollering and shit.
He's trying to watch Miss Nude Universe downstairs on cable and whack his little uncle.
Trying to get his spank on.
Yeah, but the kid keeps fucking up his flow.
Well, you know how it is. Kids are cock blockers.
They are cock blocks.
It's like, get out of my damn room.
So he decides to tell him one more story.
Yeah, ain't nothing like being in the middle of the action and you hear, I need a drink of water.
That sounds
from inside your room.
That sounds like from experience, but let's move on. So the third story is Goldi Lox and the Three Bears. But again, this one's a modern telling. And the difference is that the Three Bears are criminals.
Yes, they are.
Papa Bear and Baby Bear. Papa Bear is an old actor playing an old man. Baby Bear is this tall dude playing a mentally handicapped giant.
Yeah.
And they are in an insane asylum, but they are breaking out.
Yes, they are.
And Mama Bear is their getaway driver. She rolls up in the car.
And she's the only sane one of the bunch.
I mean, that's not really saying much, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, she's only... Papa's kind of sane, but he's also got a temper.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So they get in the car and they go take off, but not without running over the security guard who was doing nothing but his job.
And she's going like 10 miles an hour. They just broke out of prison.
Yeah. And
she's driving like 10 miles an hour.
Yeah. So then it cuts to, they're talking about, where can they hide out and where can they, lay low, whatever. And they this is so dumb. They mention that they have a house in Amityville that's abandoned they can go to.
Yep. And
clearly this is supposed to be the house from the Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
They're making reference to the fact that they live in that house. Bullshit.
And yeah, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah. And so it cuts to the house and then we see a young blonde girl sitting on the ground and there's a man laying next to her and she's saying some bullshit about how she's not ready to go that far and that she's flattered and blah, blah, blah. Then it cuts to the man. He's got this big ass fucking stake in his chest.
Yeah, fence post through his.
He's got a fence post through his fucking chest. He's not quite dead yet. She stands up, crosses her eyes, shakes him real fast, and all of a sudden the post turns, kills him, and then she's able to lift him up with her mind. So she has telekinesis powers.
So she's a Jedi.
She is
or a Sith.
Jean Grey.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go, Jean. And what's hilarious is as she's doing stuff, she's got one eye cocked and the other one's normal.
Yes.
So she makes herself look ridiculous.
So she drags him, carrying him with her mind, back to the house where we see dozens of other bodies of people that she's killed. So yes. Goldi Lox is a killer too.
Yes, at various stages of decay. But yes, Goldi Lox is a murdering ass biatch.
Yeah. Now, you had made a good point. There are some bodies in there that are decades worth of decay on them.
Yep.
So... But according to the TV, you see a news report later, she's only been broken out for like a few weeks.
Yeah. So it doesn't work.
So the only way for that to happen is if she actually dug up these people a la fucking Ed Gein and brought them into her house for company.
Yeah, but they don't, like I said, these movies are not made for thinkers.
Apparently not.
If you try to think about it too much, it takes the fun out of the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
So you just have to let some of that shit slide.
Yeah. So then we cut back to the bears in the car talking about how they need to get some money or they need to get something to eat because all Mama brought was porridge and they're tired of porridge.
They're sick of porridge. Fuck porridge.
So they want to get something to eat, but they have no money. So then like, okay, well, Baby Bear's like, we can go on welfare. And he's like, no, we're not going on welfare. We're going to get the money the old fashioned way.
We're going to earn it.
And rob a bank.
They come running out of a bank with a big old bag of fucking money.
Yep. So they get into the car. Baby Bear and Papa Bear get into the car. Mama Bear starts the car, and then we're treated to the fucking old Batman TV show thing where, in order to make the Batmobile look fast, they sped the foot up.
To speed the footage up.
So they do that with their car.
That's hilarious. And in the meantime, there's a TV reporter that's just horribly phoning.
Oh, yeah.
And she's talking about the case, and she explains that Papa Bear and Baby Bear are serving a combined sentence of 4,726 years for their various crimes.
In an insane asylum.
If anybody would have that much, they'd just run some bolts through them and ended it 4,000
It's like the scriptwriter is like, I don't know, just pick a fucking random number.
Pick a number, shit.
I don't know, 2.5 billion years. Who gives a shit? They're not going to worry about that.
Yeah, no kidding. Then
4,000.
That's when the bill shows up for the pizza. It's $47.26. Hey, 47. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, fuck it. But,
so then they speed off after their bank robbery, and
it's a lot of back and forth. It's the reporters talking about the criminals running around in the car doing nothing.
Yeah,
and Goldi Lox in there drinking soda and sharing it with her dead victims and shit. And it's just going around and around and around. Finally, the bears arrive at this house.
Yes,
Goldi Lox is in the shower, and 2 2/3, 3/4, 2 segments and a third through the movie, or half through the movie.
We are about 75% through the movie.
And finally, I get my rescue titties.
But as you mentioned, they're not really rescuing.
But they're not rescue at this point because they weren't used to keep people glued to the TV.
Yeah, this is literally the end of this fucking movie.
So we'll just call them gratuitous in this particular instance. They weren't really necessary for the movie, but they did it anyway.
And they were appreciated. Yeah, so she's in the shower singing, doing stupid shit, and Mama and the bears are like, okay, we need to sneak in and figure out who it is. And Papa Bear is like, okay, we'll go in, just keep the Uzi on us.
Yep.
But when we get inside and we see what Mama Bear is holding, she's not holding an Uzi.
No.
She's holding a goddamn stormtrooper rifle.
That's hilarious.
It literally is a stormtrooper rifle. that they borrow from a Star Wars prop toy.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this segment just dove off a cliff.
It went way off. It went to fucking Benny Hill territory.
Exactly. Boom.
Yes.
Good explanation for it. Slapsticky. It started to get stupid. It strayed away from the quote-unquote horror aspect, if there is any to this movie, really. Just the light stuff we've seen so far. But this segment just went
way off the rails.
Way off the rails. So Papa Bear goes into the shower.
Wait, let's go back a little bit first. They walk up and they look into the bedrooms and they do their stupid fucking lines of, somebody's sleeping in my bed.
Yeah.
Somebody's sleeping in my bed. But the thing is, all the people sleeping in their bed are corpses.
Well, that was funny is then Baby Bear, the big tard, goes into his room.
Yeah.
Says, and somebody's been sleeping in mine. He pulls back the curtain and it's just an arm laying in the bed.
He's like,
hey. It's funny.
So then Papa Bear goes into the shower and confronts her and says, get out of here. What the hell are you doing in my house? And then they start talking and they realize we have something in common. We're all cold-blooded killers.
We're all killers, yeah. You remind me of my parents who I just slaughtered.
Yeah.
All this shit.
So,
but the Stormtrooper gun is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great.
You're sitting there looking, this is no damn Uzi.
No.
Yeah,
it is a fucking Stormtrooper rifle. I'm pretty sure you're about as accurate as a Stormtrooper as well.
And then we go to the police station. I mean, because like I said, this little segment is all over the place. Finally, they go to the police station where these guys have somehow devised that this is the only place they can be held up anywhere in the whole county.
Because logic, I guess.
I suppose.
So they're planning a raid on the house. So then we cut back, and Baby Bear is flirting with Goldi Lox, and they like each other, and then they start rumbling around. And somehow Goldi Lox has a dry hump orgasm.
Well, what it is before that, he grabs her, starts kissing on her and stuff. So she does her stupid little cross-eyed, goofy look thing. I
forgot about that.
And pulls the tree trunk down on him, or a telephone pole, or some
tree
shit.
Trunk, yeah.
It looks like a telephone pole or whatever. But anyway, it hits him, and it drives him into the ground like Wile E. fucking Coyote.
Yes.
And it hits him twice, but he comes out of the hole like...
He comes out of the hole. He looks at the fucking camera, breaking the fourth wall.
Yes.
And says, wow, what a woman. Jumps out of the hole, not even hurt.
Yep.
So he's superhuman. Picks her up, starts to sexually assault her.
And then does the dry hump.
Yeah. But then she, he's on top of her, kissing her. assaulting her, but then all of a sudden she starts liking it.
She has this telekinetic orgasm and makes the whole ground, the house, and everything shake. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so she has a dry hump telekinetic orgasm. So then she's in love with, and while she's doing it, she's cross-eyed, and it zooms in on her cross-eyed ass.
Yep.
Which is fucking stupid. So then she's in love with baby boy, or baby bear. So then it cuts to them at the dinner table, getting ready to eat dinner. And they're like, "Oh, this porridge sucks."
They're bitching about porridge again. They're like, "Damn it,
it's too hot. Let's go for a walk until it cools." And then Papa
she
Bear's
does.
like,
Yeah, she does that. She goes, "Let's go for a walk in the woods while it cools." I mean, they're going by the story loosely.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck that. Let's go get a pizza.
And that part was funny.
It was.
That
funny.
part was funny. He's like, let's go get pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
So then they take off. Right as they take off, the cops fucking swarm in.
No, and they're not even swarming. They're just casually walking across. They're like me. It's like a crosswalk at a school. They just kind of all come across, just calmly walking. They position themselves in the woods, and then they open fire.
They start shooting into the house.
On this house with nobody in it. And
they hit the dynamite. Stick of dynamite.
They hit the dynamite that Mama Bear had.
Yeah.
So they assume at that point, quote unquote, that the Bear Gang is dead.
And Goldi Lox.
Meanwhile,
they're at the pizza place. They're eating pizza. And they see the news report. And they realize that they have a new fresh start. Because people think they are dead.
Everybody thinks they're dead.
And so the last scene of this terrible, terrible, terrible segment is they are at the register and they're getting ready to pay, and the lady's adding everything up. Before she can finish her sentence, Goldi Lox straight Vader fucking force chokes her ass.
I love it. That was good.
Knocks her on the ground, and then they look at her, and she looks at them. She's like, "It's on me.
It's on me."
So then they walk out.
No, and ignoring the rest of the staff, but she Vader chokes the fucking.
Another funny part is, so they walk to the car. They get so it's like this far away shot of them getting into the car. They back out and they get ready to drive out. As they're driving out, they just happen to find some dude walking by and they fucking run him over.
They just hit him.
Funniest fucking.
They just fucking hit him. Yeah. No reason. It's like, oops, sorry, my bad, and they just take off.
So that's the end of that segment. Okay, so did we give segment 2 a grade?
No,
I don't think we did.
I kind of gave it like a 2.5, 3 turd.
There's no half turds in this motherfucker. There's no droplets.
Yep.
There's no fucking.
Section 2. I gave section 2, but roughly a 2 turd. It's okay.
Yeah, I gave it a 2.
Like I said, they're all slow, but they get there.
But then that stupid jump, from behind and below the lady, like knock it up 2 spaces.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That Merle Haggard it.
Yeah. So what about the third segment? What'd you give that?
Third segment for me was so god awful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving that a 1 turd as well.
Giving it a 1 turd. Okay.
I'm giving it a 1 turd for pure stupidity and entertainment value.
Okay, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. There were a couple of times I laughed, like with the pizza quote, and then other stuff. But the rescue titties were nice. That knocked up a bunch. But it was like as we mentioned, it was so far downhill and so into Benny Hill territory that I have to give it a 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't like it that much. It was my least favorite of the 3, even though it had the RTs.
No, I understand.
It was the least favorite of the 3.
It's all good.
So then the final part of the wraparound story, he finishes telling the story. He leaves the room. As he's walking downstairs, all of a sudden we're greeted to this
hear a growl. You start hearing this growling. And the kid's looking around. He looks up, and one of his dolls or something.
No, I don't think it's a doll. It's just this monster that's like attached to his wall for some fucking reason.
Yeah, but it looks ridiculous.
It's got this weird big fucking head and big mouth, and it looks like it's melted and shit. And it doesn't like it goes towards the kid, but it doesn't jump towards him. It looks like whoever was holding it in the background just let it go. And this lifeless doll just fell towards the kid.
And then you hear this screaming going on, and he's like, ah! I mean, it's
and then
like
downstairs,
the kid's getting shredded up.
Yeah.
And the uncle's like, nah.
Yeah, he sits there, he listens to it, and then like the screaming stops, and uncle looks, he's like, nah. And then the movie ends. Boom, done.
And I tell you what, right there.
Yeah.
That right there did it for me and boosted the movie. Because that little brat was annoying as fuck. So I am glad they let the monster get him at the end.
Oh my god! So I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you real quick. We are as we're recording this, the credits are playing, and as James was mentioning about the kid dying, I happened to look up real quick and notice that one of the crew members, I shit you not, was named Alice in Wonderland. Her name was Allison, Allison. There it is. Last name, she's a production assistant.
Holy shit.
Allison, Allison, Wonderland, Wonderland.
Well, I mean, they had references and little Easter eggs all through the movie. They had the two detectives. One of them was Jack B. Nimble, and
The
then
one was Jack B. Quick.
Jack B. Quick.
But seriously, the fucking her name is Allison Wonderland.
It is.
Is that? I don't know if that's real or not.
Yeah, Wenderland.
Allison. That's okay. Anyway, so yeah. So all right, James. Let me hear your final score for this movie.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna be nice to this one. This was a good way to wrap up the season.
Okay.
Genuinely crappy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
This one is so bad it's good to me.
Okay.
It's not quite the level of Jack Frost, but overall quality, everything, plus they took the kid out. I am still giving this bastard a 1 star.
1 star.
Because the few things in the movie I was hoping would happen did happen. There were some great funny parts. Yeah, there were some boring stretches, but I liked it. This is one I would watch again with friends and stuff like that. And it's just friggin' horribly good.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm going with a 1 with
star.
a 1 turd. And that's a hell of a way to finish the year.
All right, so James is saying it's
Or
one of the
season, excuse me.
Your new classic, so definitely hang on to it and watch it over and over again.
If you can take it.
If you can take it. I am it's really a split decision for me because as we mentioned, there's certain scenes from all 3 segments that we liked a lot, that we laughed our ass off.
Oh yeah.
I mean that wolf scene where he jumps up from underneath the lady had us laughing for like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Because it was so fucking ridiculous the way they shot it and the way it looked and how they executed it. It's like it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. And I say that a lot. I know I say that a lot, but it was. Yep. And it was so fucking funny. And then the what was the segment from the first one that we thought was funny as shit? What was that? That was the
Kali Mall and the damn face hugger.
The face hugger heart. That was fucking great as well. That was great as well. Oh my god. The third one, I mean, honestly, the best parts of that were the RTs, the stormtrooper gun, and then I think that's it.
And all the force powers, man. How can you not love it?
Because it was done badly. Because it took away from the force power when they zoom in on her face and her eyes are fucking cross-eyed.
I know, but it's supposed to be bad, dude.
And then the Benny Hill-esque like fast speed motion.
Yeah.
And then the fucking Looney Tunes with the tree stump, and then it didn't really do it for me. I am gonna go 2 turds.
Well, 2 turds still ain't bad.
It's reputable. It's not as good as many of our other movies, but it's a hell of a lot better than some of our other movies. But there's definitely some quality there if you can get through the boring parts.
Yes.
Get through the boring parts because it seems at the very least that all 3 of them have something towards the end that will make you laugh and make it
makes up worth
the other 20 minutes of bullshit.
20 or something minutes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So stick with it if you can. The wraparound story is complete and utter bullshit. It's fucking stupid, and I don't even fast forward past the wraparound story.
Every time you see the uncle go in the room bitching, just fast forward.
Yeah. Fast forward past that shit. Just watch the 3 segments.
Except the last. You gotta watch the little kid get taken out. You gotta watch it.
If you find joy in watching kids get killed, then watch it. If you don't, then fast forward that bullshit anyway because it's not really worth it. But yeah, I give it a 2. James give it a 1. But I agree. I think this is definitely a good movie to end the season on.
Absolutely.
So much better than how we ended last season because last season still hurts me a lot. Yes, it's 1986. I don't even want to say cult classics. I don't think it's reached that status yet, but it's definitely a what the suck classic.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right, James, why don't you tell the fine folks at home where they can find us or where they can send their friends to find us?
All right, y'all. You can find us on the fourthhand.com network along with our sister project, State of Fear. You'll also find several other shows there to occupy your time while we are transitioning to season 3.
Like the wonderful Beyond Terrestrial show?
Absolutely. Those guys are fantastic. Good friends, good guys, great show, very informative. And
go check them out.
Please. You can also find us, of course, on the Big Evil Facebook under What the Suck, and you can find us on Instagram under What the Suck. You can't follow me anymore because my friends list is full.
Man, y'all fill up his friends list. Good job,
That's
people.
all
I'll
right.
give you the
That's
slow
all
golf
right.
clap.
5,000 people and 4,800 of them, I have no idea who they are. But that's okay. I don't care. They're all paranormal peeps and horror peeps and all that good stuff.
It's good. It's a good crowd to be in.
And like I said, as far as the podcast itself, you can find us on any podcasting platform: Spotify, Google Podcasts,
Anchor.
Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Anchor.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said,
We're-
Castbox.
We're still there. We're on there too.
We're everywhere.
Anywhere podcast
Yes.
can be listened to, we are there. We are like an ex-girlfriend or like herpes. We're there.
And we always will be.
That's right.
Now, I would like to, before we wrap this episode, congratulate my co-host Chris on another fine season.
Oh yes,
We
same
got
to you.
through it.
Yeah.
Excellent editing, my friend.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we appreciate the high quality product that you pump out, sir.
Well, thank you. And speaking of product, we are always looking for movie recommendations. So if you have a movie that you want to recommend us watch or review, send it to us on either Facebook or Instagram. If you just want to reach out to us for whatever reason, email us at whatthesuckpodcast@gmail.com
That's correct.
or through our Facebook or Instagram. But thank you. This has been a lot of fun. We've done some really great movies. We've done some not so great ones.
Yep.
But I am looking forward to all of the big fun changes for next season.
Season 3 is going to be something.
We got some stuff in the pipeline we need to figure out. So for sure.
Pretty much. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're trying to think of how do you improve on perfection?
I
Well, you
mean-
know what? It's very hard.
Actually, just bring in some rescue titties.
Just got to have something that always works for me.
So until next time, I'm Chris, and I'll see y'all at the next season's Shit Fest.
And this is James. And if it ain't on What the Suck, it ain't shit.
You've been listening to a fourth hand joint.